Hey Forbes, welcome to the party. Huh, huh. I'm good. I'm good. Excuse me, I gotta maneuver some cords around here. I'm using a somewhat shorter cable for my headphones than usual. So this is the Bell Crow from Awaken Realms game The Edge Dawnfall, which is a hex-based little skirmish game, and he's the big boss monster for the Darkness faction. And we're going to paint him up. And if you have channel points that you'd like, you can redeem them for colors and whatnot, and we'll incorporate them wherever we can. We're sort of testing out the channel point redeems. And no, I didn't make him. I wish I did. No, he comes from a board game that I picked up a while back, and I'm just now getting to painting some of it. What I did do, though, is I did prime him already, so that's the only colors on him. He's got the black undercoat and then the white sprayed from on top, and that just helps figure out, where the shadows are, where the lights are, etc., etc., etc. That's called zenithal highlighting, is what I've done. Justice, how you doing? Ah, Forbes, I'm sorry. But this isn't going to be the only one, and we'll keep refining these community paint streams to make them easier, make them better, and so that people who don't have a lot of points can still participate. So this is sort of the first run. The only color that I know I'm painting him so far is I'm painting the skin, so we're going to go with that. Tama, how you doing? Tama, I figured I'd get some painting in now and go get sushi later, so, Alright, so he's got skin there, arms, back, and like a wee bit underneath the chin there, like all the way back up in there. So let's get started at least. I might have to get up from my desk more than a couple times. I only grabbed out 3 colors because I wasn't actually planning on painting the Velcro today, but the other model I had broke, so I have no choice. Anyway, I'm going to start out with a little Hellbound Flesh from scale 75, and I'm going to mix it with a little gray from scale 75. Because he's the Velcro is like a big, dark, ancient monster sort of deal, right? I'm thinking something rotting flesh color sounds good. Get out of here, brushes. To organize my desk better. Excuse my arm. Tama, how are you today? How you doing? Also, please let me know if the music's too loud. Just gonna mix these together. Yeah, Forbes, I'm happy to help out. Alright, let's get started with this dark flesh. I'm going to start back here on his back. So a lot of other times on stream, I have painted models that have been primed or started with gray or with white. This is the first time on stream I've done one that was primed with black. And hold on a second. There we go. And really the main difference between the undercoat colors is that obviously, you know, the lighter the undercoat, the brighter your colors show up on it. So if you're painting something like green, it's obviously going to look darker if you're painting it over black, or if you're painting it over white. He's got these weird coral thingies on his arm. I'm not actually sure what these are supposed to be. He's holding some bells, you know, per his name, the Bell Crow. The Edge Dawnfall is a really fun game. I played it for the first time at a convention, and then I backed the Kickstarter, and here we are. Now I'm finally getting around to actually painting it. There's a variety of game modes. You can play a like King of the Hill type mode. You can play a skirmish type mode where you're fighting your opponent directly. But the base game itself, you don't have to like collect a lot of miniatures. You just have to buy the base game. And the base game comes with, I want to say like 5 factions. Oh, it is a rotating playlist. That's the URL for the rotating playlist. Just a fun little tavern mix. I like it, it's relaxing. I hope everyone's had a good Saturday so far. So far mine was pretty good. I started off kind of rough. I woke up in not exactly the best headspace that I've ever been personally, and then I found out that the model I was planning on painting broke, and yada 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 yada, so it's getting better. It is improving. Let's just leave it at that. Does that mean it was a fun night or a busy night? Ooh! I tend to roll around a lot in my sleep as well. It's why I ended up getting the big bed, so I had more buffer room before I hit the floor. big bed and a lot of pillows keep me in one place. Tomorrow, I actually get a chance to play a game of Age of Sigmar with my friends, so I finally get to use that painted army we did, which I'm really excited for. As well, tomorrow I'm going to find and pick out the model I'm going to enter into the Reddit painting contest. So... Man, Forbes, you can say almost anything in here as long as it's not, you know, like, an awful thing. Oh, yeah. Well, look at that, you summoned a bot. Are you sure? You said follow and then he popped up. I'm just teasing. Yeah, once I'm done here, I will pop over and give you a follow. Alright, so now we got one layer down. There's not a whole lot of exposed skin on this guy, which is nice. What we're going to do now is we're going to go back with a second thin coat just to make it look smoother and nicer. On a couple areas like here where you can see a lot of the black primer still on the legs. So for this color, I did Tommy, you scared me. I thought that actually was a bot message for a second. Oh, that's right. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. By the way, Tama, I love your British accent. It's absolutely outstanding. I was thinking of redeeming some points to see if I could get you to say an Austin Powers quote in it, but our British English accent-ish. No, weren't you doing like a fake accent on your Minecraft stream yesterday? I going insane? Did I not remember that? I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning, and that was like 30 minutes ago. I might just be going insane, Tama. It's been a busy week. Ah, that's what it was. Problem with, like, the one problem I have with games like this, like The Edge Dawnfall that came from Awaken Realms, is all the figures are pre-built, so they're like pre-attached to the bases, so I can't really take them off of it, which means it's really hard to get at certain places, like underneath this dude's knee. Because I'm like, I flip you up, but then I can't actually see what's underneath there, so... Yeah, this camera's white balance is kind of atrocious. Because it's not really blue. It's supposed to be like a really dark gray, or at least that's what I see. Needs a little pink, huh? I think we can fit that in. Alright, that's closer to the right color. I think that's about the best I can get. I gotta fool around with the white balance more. Dark pink, you say? So I'm thinking that, like, the rags that he's wearing could be like dark red, so there could be dark pink in that. Yeah, I've been messing with the white balance of this camera. Like, the auto white balance was off. Nope, same one. See, if I hit auto white balance, everything does look bluer. But really, this is closer to what it should be. It really is, and I apologize for that. I don't know why the white balance on this webcam is so weird. But I also don't have much experience with white balance myself personally, so... I most likely am just completely messing up the settings on it. The one that's controlling this is a C922 Pro from Logitech. On what is really not a very secure armature. Yes, it looks closer to IRL now. I'm going to add a couple more drops of the dark gray to our skin color. And use this for the shadows. I will say as well, I got a new thing of brush soap to help keep my brushes, you know, clean and pointed, and it feels like it's working wonders. It's basically we want to get these shadows here in on his glorious six-pack of abs. So apparently he spends all day squatting in graveyards. Here, bend of his knee. The small of his back. I'll be honest, Forbes, I left a lot of those on the defaults. I'm using Streamlabs OBS, and a lot of them is Streamlabs' defaults. I added sound alerts from the Sound Alert website, I want to say. I forget which one off the top of my head. And went through their library of relatively free sound effects that are not likely to get copyright infringement or whatnot. Like, I wanted some Star Wars ones, but I don't deal with the, I'm not gonna deal with the mouse. No, if you just search Twitch sound alerts, excuse me, it is pretty much the first one that pops up. I don't think so, no. Hold on. It should literally just be soundalerts.com. Beyond that, if you're using Streamlabs OBS, I know. Yes, I think that's it. If you're using Streamlabs OBS, then you should be able to simply upload any MP3 files you have. You don't download them for sound alerts. You link your Twitch account to it. The tutorial on the main page? That's a pretty good example. Like, if you want... So I apologize. I'm thinking sound alerts like the spend 300 channel points or whatever, like this. 1 second. So... like that sound alert comes from that soundalerts.com. If you want something for the followers and whatnot, you have to download the MP3 yourself, and you have to upload it into OBS. Or at least Streamlabs OBS. I don't know about regular OBS. Alright, now let's add a couple highlights. I gotta fix the RIP one and make that louder. Alright, so now I'm gonna take 2 drops of the Hellbound flesh that we used for the base. And 1 drop of undead flesh, which is a lighter dark greenish color. And we'll do some highlighting. Oh no, bang's very loud. It's a little bit brighter than I want it to be. Oopsie. Sorry, boss. My lawyer says I'm no longer allowed to help people with their ear problems. Not after last time. You give away one bad bit of medical advice, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, you need a medical license to tell people that, blah, 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 blah. So basically this goes over the top of his skin. You have to add it as a browser source within OBS. There is a pretty good tutorial on the Sound Alerts website that will show you everything that you need to do. Forbes, are you using Streamlabs or regular OBS? So in your sources, you can add things, and you have to add. The sound alerts are what it calls a browser source, because basically it's that website that hosts everything. So you need to link that as a browser source so that when the sound is played, Streamlabs goes to the website pretty much and plays the sound from there. Alright, and that's me pretty happy with the skin for right now. We're just gonna basically leave it be, he says, as he continues to work on it. So now let's do the robes that are covering him. And I'm thinking these are going to be dark red with, like Thomas suggested, some dark pink highlights tossed in. So let me go get the starting dark red that I want to use. Be right back. And some black leather. That'll work. Alright, trying to keep the colors to a minimum here. Just out of personal challenge. So usually when I paint, I end up getting like a gajillion and a half colors out, and then I only really use like 5. And then it's a pain in the butt to clean up. So we're going to start with the Tindalos Red, which is a very, very dark brownish red. And as usual, we're going to thin it down with a little bit of water. So there's 2 real reasons I'm using a lot of scale color, which is the company that makes this color paint, and that's because 1, I have so much of it. I have so much of it. And 2, when the paint's dry, they come out very matte, not really glossy and varnish, not really glossy, so I like that effect more. But it's mostly because I have so much. So we're basically just going to start going over all the folds of his cloak. And then other colors I got out. Some ball crimson, which we'll use for the highlights. Some pale violet red pink, which we'll use also for highlighting. And some black leather, which we'll mix into the Tindalos red to make the shadows. Can already tell, especially on this leg here, I'm gonna have to come back and just smooth out that leg. So I'm still kind of on the fence about what model I want to paint for the contest entry. I think it's going to be something from Marvel Crisis Protocol, so maybe a Marvel superhero like Captain America or Thor or Spider-Man. But I'm going to try entering the intermediate competition. Alright. And then I'm thinking the bells are probably gonna be like dirty, grimy metal colored, and the chains will be dark metals. But as always, since this is the community, you are free to suggest alternate colors, and we'll see if we can't work them in. I do like the idea of the dark pink. There's a lot of like dark purpley, pinkish colors I see a lot in like evil magic. And then he's got graves growing out of his back too. The Bellcrow's just a cool model. Ah, Pandora, thank you so much for the raid. And Gingervitis, thank you so much for the follow. How are y'all doing this Saturday? Abby Zenko, how are you doing? Thank you so much for dropping by. We are painting the Bellcrow from Awakened Realms' game called The Edge Dawnfall. The Bellcrow is the big boss monster of the Darkness faction. So one of our viewers, Tama, suggested we throw in some pink on the colors. What we're doing is we're doing the cloaks and the rags that he wears red, and there's going to be some deep pink highlights in there. It's going to look, if I can do it, it's going to look cool. I can't tell. Is that chains? No. This is a game that I'm gonna be honest on this one. Also, this is me gonna be on a rant here. I almost got ripped off by my local game store because they were selling it for $500, and I feel bad for anybody who bought it for $500 because I paid $240 through the Kickstarter. So, support your local game store, except when they try to rip you off. Painting streams are fun. I still gotta get a good... I worry that I need a little bit of a better setup for it, or at least a more stable armature in case I accidentally tap the camera and it doesn't do that. So how was y'all's stream? You guys get up to anything fun? Nice. I need to get Pokemon Snap. I loved the N64 version, and from everything I've seen, this one's basically just more of that. And I'm here for it. Oops. Uh-oh. Got some red on his skin. That's not where that's supposed to be. What's been your favorite Pokemon interaction you've seen so far? Or, if not favorite, because there might be too many, a really memorable one. It is Clyde. Clyde is my first name, Dale is my last name. S is my middle name. Clyde's fine. Wait, Pandora, there's Pokemon Turf Wars and Pokemon Snap? Oh no. Are you sitting there instigating fights for the camera? I do like that Sir Viper and Zangoose continue their rivalry in Pokemon Snap. I think that's pretty cool. Because, yeah, they hate each other, don't they? There is not a shout out just yet for Pandora. There will be soon. I am working on... I gotta redo a lot of my Nightbot commands. At the moment, I just have a couple basic ones that I set up like 4 months ago, and then have not updated since. I'm very lazy like that. And I apologize for it. But you should check out Pandora's channel. Pandora does awesome content. I lurk in there sometimes when I'm at work. Only thing I will say about Nightbot is I do recommend probably just turning off the caps moderation. Because by default, if you send a message in all caps and it's eight characters, Nightbot will delete it and then delete every message sent by that person. So just gotta be careful of that. Oh, not just you, Justice. Nightbot got another viewer, Sky, a couple times. Sky was pulling some Genshin Impact and got very excited when Sky pulled Zhongli, and Nightbot said, "Nope, no fun allowed." Oh, Pandora, thank you. We're getting closer to some of the other emotes. I have 7 all done and all made up. That's okay, Forbes. I'm very grateful that you're here. It's just kind of tricky getting into some details like the wrappings here on his arm because I can't take him off the base. I think we're like... I'm not sure, Justice. I'll have to tell you that after. Aw, yeah, debut time. You know, I've never done one of those big debut sort of things. I might do one when I get my live 2D model all finished up. Okay, that's the basic red all down. So what we're going to do now is... we're going to take some more Tindalos red and some black leather. Shake the black leather up more because it's all congealed and goopy and gross. And we're going to mix them up real good and make basically a wash, which is really thinned. Really thinned paint. So now that you're almost done with Pokemon Snap, Pandora, what's next? It just needs a little bit more water. I hope you have a great dinner, Pandora, and thank you so much for stopping by. Ooh! Mystery Dungeon Snap! I have a couple friends who love Mystery Dungeon. I'll send them your way. when you get started there. I only ever played Blue Rescue Team, so I'll be excited to see Explorers of the Sky. See ya! Okay, so the whole purpose of the wash is just to basically flow in the cracks and the crevices, just to add some depth and definition in them. At the moment I don't do song requests. Only because I want to make sure that nothing gets DMCA'd for any reason, and I don't have a good enough understanding personally of how Twitch even handles DMCAs and other copyright issues. I just have not sat down and done the research on it. As soon as I have a good enough understanding of what I can and cannot play on stream at a time that won't get this channel dinged or marked in any way, then I will. Because especially if I upload the VOD to YouTube later, which I have to wait 24 hours to do, then I might get... I don't want to get in trouble there either, you know? Well, yeah, but I don't even want one warning. I'm a good pony. I don't break the rules. I run Paragon in Mass Effect. I mean, you've got a point. But also, Paragon till death. That's a spoiler alert for Mass Effect 2. Well, I'm not done here yet. You know what they say about chaos, Justice? Chaos is a ladder. And I forget the rest of Littlefinger's speech from Game of Thrones. Okay, now we're gonna get into the fun bit. So I need my small dry brush. This brush. Small dry brush. From the Army Painter, as we're on an Army Painter cutter. I'm not sponsored by the Army Painter, BT dubs, but Army Painter, if you're watching, hello, I love your shit. Please send me free brushes. Pardon my French. Alright, we're going to take a drop of the Ball Crimson. Yeah, when I'm finished with the stream. Oops. Well, I just squirted way too much of that out. See, I would recommend Game of Thrones because I hadn't seen it either until like a month ago, and then I binged it because I got the Game of Thrones board game, or the tabletop game, because a friend told me. Oh, not that long. We've been here for an hour now. I suspect it'll take about 2 more hours, give or take. It's also not a very complex model. Like, we've got the skin done, so what's left is we gotta finish up the cloak, which we're doing now. We gotta do the weird wood growths on his forearms, and then we just gotta do the accessories, like the chains and the bells. Not under this name. And unfortunately, between work and everything, I just don't have the time to manage a second Discord. This needs a little bit more pink. There we go. Now for the dry brushing. I love dry brushing. I have not been doing that enough, have I? And now we mix together this ball crimson and this pale violet red to make this sort of pinkish color. Well, I promise it's actually pink. The lighting's just weird. See if I can't get it to show up properly. Also, no, again, I haven't really gone through Nightbot in several months. There's a lot of commands and whatnot that I haven't initiated. Mostly, I get home from work, I'm bored, I'm tired, I stream until like midnight, and then I go to bed, wake up at 6, and go back to work. So, rinse, lather, repeat. That was too much. That was a whoopsie. Let's see if I can't fix that whoopsie. I have a day off tomorrow, so there should be a couple more commands that are finished up and initialized on my next stream. Alright, Justice. Thank you so much for lurking. We'll see you when we see you. Oh, thank you, Tama. I am really sorry. The pink's not showing up very well at all. I'll have a better picture of it up on Twitter once we're done. And I promise there's actually, like, dark pink in here. Have a good day, Tama. Thank you so much for stopping by, as always. Dry brushing is real rough on your brush. So, gotta remember to take good care of your dry brushes. Okay, I'm quite pleased with that. The next step that I want to do is I want to do the wood growths on his forearm there, and I want to do his beak. So, the beak, I'm thinking just like standard bone-ish color. And the growths, I think we can do a very dark wood. Excuse me though, I'm gonna try to correct this. What I'm doing here, probably incorrectly, is called stippling. And that's where you just go dot 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 dot. Okay, let me grab a couple colors. Sort of sticking with the dark and grimy theme. I'm not thinking anything anything super bright and fancy at the moment, but it is community paint stream, so y'all can influence that as you will. So, be right back. Ooh, that was dangerous. Oh, that's dangerous. Oh, music stopped. 1 second. The headphones fell. And almost took my water cup with it. Alright, got some colors. So we got some Jackbone from Privateer Press, and then from Scale Color we got some, I'm throwing them on the ground. Some Iroko, some Inktense Chestnut, and some Sandalwood. So we're going to start with the Sandalwood. Alright, so starting with Sandalwood. A couple drops of that out. And this sandalwood here is going to be the basis for these branches. Now, unfortunately, I don't have all the colors I need to do non-metallic metal for the bells. So they and the chains are actually going to have to be metallic colors. And non-metallic metal is just the act of... It's exactly what it sounds like. It's painting a metallic color without actually using any metallic paints. But to do good non-metallic gold, the best recipe I've seen involves a couple colors that I don't have. Alright, so we're going to let that settle for just a little bit before we add some Inktense Chestnut to the mix. We're going to go on and do the beak. And fortunately the beak's pretty small, so... Alright, we'll let that set before we get it with the second thin coat. Thank you. I'm out of USB slots to plug in a a leap motion. Alright, now we're gonna do a little bit of wash. With scale 75's Inktense Chestnut. Roasting on an open fire. The real nice thing about acrylic paints is that they tend to dry very quickly. I've never really done mini painting with oil painting before, but with oil paints, but I have seen some very beautiful works. I need to do a little bit more research on it personally. A free game on Helltaker. Helltaker, it's a puzzle game where your objective is to amass a harem of demon waifus. Helltaker. It is a very fun game. Although I will admit I got stuck on the second to last level for the longest time. Or third to last level. The second to last level is pretty easy, just kick the guy in front, out of the way. Pop this out, just a little bit of this jack bone color. Yeah, it looks about right. And we're just gonna fix these tiny little smudges here. And here. There we go. That's about what I want. Alright, now we're just going to take this Iroko again. And just... dry brush to catch the very raised edges. Alright, we've just got chains, bells, and the gravestones left. So we'll do the gravestones last. For the chains and the bells. And then there's obviously some light highlighting and touch-ups to do. So, let me get get the metallic colors I want out. So they're all going to be roughly the same. Alright, we're going to start with some old copper. We're going to do some highlights of Victorian brass, some really big highlights of polished gold, and then there's some Seraphim Sepia wash. But for this, I'm going to have to swap down to a smaller brush. This brush is just a bit too big. Where did I put my dry brush? I want that separated from everybody else. Here you are, because I have to clean you off after this. So I'm going to be using a small base brush from Citadel. So, old copper for the chains. Dip, dip, dab. Get just a little bit of water in there, just to gonna come in here. Make sure that the folds of the cloak near the bell have paint on them. Okay, continuing on. So the real trick is that there isn't like a terminus point where all the chains meet and connect together. Just kind of zigzag all over his cloak. Yay, Professor! No, this is from The Edge Dawnfall by Awakened Realms. This is the Bell Crow. Sort of the big boss monster of the Darkness subfaction. Oh yeah, speaking of that, I should probably also paint the Bloodborne board game on stream at some point. These rags are just covered in these chains and my eyes just aren't good enough to find them all. I want to say that's most of them. He doesn't have any... no, it's not. Professor, you pick your faction yet for Age of Sigmar? Still going with the daughters? The daughters are in a pretty solid place. You don't even have to buy the $180 worth of witch elves if you don't want them. You can get by pretty well with just snakes. Ooh, that would be cool. I still haven't fully decided how I want to Like I have a couple. I have a small force of Daughters of Cain that I just haven't done anything with. I really like TurboDork's Blue Steel. I think Blue Steel is probably my favorite color and was what I was thinking of doing for my Necrons. Yeah, it's like the blue to silver. Alright. The Victorian brass for the bells. Helltaker? Oh, Helltaker's rough, but it's honestly, Helltaker's probably the best free game on Steam you'll get that's not a free MMO or anything like that. It's one of those rhythm games, you know. You gotta. Now there is a skip function in Helltaker if you just want to get some of the girls. Professor, do you know of any other good free games on Steam? Because most of the ones that I know that I enjoy are like those pay-to-win MMOs, and that's not everyone's cup of tea. I'd say Black Return or Black Survivor, but that's also just as confusing as Helltaker, if not more so. Well, there's also now a Black Survival MOBA. I hate the fact that I now need to look up Genshin Impact build guides. Now that I pulled a second 5-star character. I'm like, okay, now I have to actually learn how to play Genshin Impact properly. Oh, I picked, the guard, Siege's friend. Because she was like one of the few Arknights operators I still needed. I'd say if you don't have either of them, Vulcan's better for the base. But I had gotten lucky off of a senior operator defender tag, and Vulcan came home. Also, speaking of casual shenanigans, we finally have a new Eagle Union event coming to Azure Lane. So far, I have seen the USS San Francisco and the USS Boise spoiled. I don't know why Boise is wearing a gas mask. I don't know what that says about New Jersey. Anybody watching who's from New Jersey, I'm sorry. It's just, these are the questions I have. I still have like 12, I still have like 20 more to go. But congrats. I finished FDG. And now I'm working on Drake. I honestly think you might want to finish her now just so you can start leveling her up, because Ibuki's pretty good. Alright, now for a little Sarapim Sepia. Hey, Bulgarian, how you doing? I hope your Saturday's going good so far. Ooh! Excellent. The answer is yes, Professor. Comodioda! I can't do it. That was an embarrassment. Alright, now we're gonna do some small highlights on the bells. Yeah, Bulgarian professor's finally gonna hop in on the Age of Sigmar train. I keep trying to convince him, and by keep trying to, I mean I've mentioned it offhandedly once, that the Hedonites of Slaanesh are actually real good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, depending on what's in the what's in the new faction that's teased for Destruction, I might just be going Destruction. Because Kragnor is a super awesome model. Hey, Justice, welcome back. It's going good. We're making real good headway on the Bell Crow. We're also talking some Age of Sigmar, because there is a bunch of new fun things coming soon from Age of Sigmar land, including Kragnor! Destructionating the countryside, it's Kragnor! And Kragnor is just a big angry centaur. I mean angry. Also, they've already announced he has a 2-up save, which just seems ridiculous. And for context, if you've never played Age of Sigmar or anything, that means every time he takes damage, you roll a dice, you roll a die, and on a roll of 2 or better, he doesn't take damage. Like, that's real good. Thank you. Apparently, Kragnor will also work for any Destruction faction. But I think he's gonna get like his own. I think he's gonna get a dedicated one, basically. Yeah, I think that too, Bulgarian. I think he is gonna basically just be the big overarching faction boss. Like Nagash is Lord of the Dead and Kragnar is gonna be Lord of Cracking Your Skulls. So far for Gen Con, I'm also not planning on bringing any minis games personally. Because I'm pretty certain that companies that are foreign based, like War Cradle Studios, which is based in the United Kingdom, and Parabellum, which I think is based somewhere in Greece, will likely not be attending as well. Just based on existing travel restrictions currently. Basically, why is that? My assumption is because vendors for Gen Con had to confirm or deny by last month that they were going or not. I think a lot of foreign companies based in countries that may still have a little bit more strict entrance and exit requirements may have opted to decline, just because they had no way of knowing what their own travel capabilities would have been by September. Personally, from a pessimistic standpoint, I don't think so. I think if a company's not attending Gen Con or not participating in it, they're also not going to take the time to set up a vendor table or a free play table. I think there will be free play tables, and I think there will be a lot of player run events, but I don't think anything officially endorsed or sponsored. I think this will actually be really good for tabletop RPG players, or if you're interested in tabletop RPGs, because the trend I've been seeing people mentioning is that the way that Gen Con worked previously is you had to have X number of player hours in order to get compensated. So game masters would be running big giant D&D groups with like 10 or 12 people just so that they could get those player hours to get their rooms comped. But, I mean, I have very little experience with this, but I can't imagine D&D in a group of 12 is, like, feasible. Or at the very least, is very difficult. So I imagine that without the strict, stringent focus on player run, or with more focus on player run events instead of corporate run events, if I can use that terminology, I think you'll get smaller groups but better experiences overall. I think I might also have a chance this year to be able to, get into a painting group or a painting class. Also, 14 people? Was that the narrative event 2 years ago? No, I did not play that one. There, that's a little bit smoother. About the only game that I think I'm actually bringing up with me is La Neckbeard, but that's because that's just a fantastic party game. I suspect I'll have to end up shipping things home depending on how the VIG swag bag turns out. Alright, down to paint the gravestones. And then we're pretty much almost done. Barring a couple other things. 60 assault intercessors, yes! That's degeneracy and I love it. Well, you'll know before we go what casual events and whatnot there will be, so that at least won't be like a surprise. Alright, we're going to start with some graphite from Scale Color. So Scale 75 apparently has their own version of contrast paints now, and I kind of hope I can pick one up at ReaperCon. That's secretly my hope for going to ReaperCon this year. Do it for Bellicor. Somebody needs to love him because the Chaos Gods won't. ReaperCon is before Gen Con this year. I want to say it's still Labor Day weekend. No, not next weekend. Wait, is next weekend Memorial Day? Oh snap, does that actually mean I have a long weekend coming up? Probably not. So many tiny gravestones. Whoever thought sculpting all these was a good idea isn't awful human being and needs to be on a watch list. Not really. Just tiny details make me crazy. See, Forbes, what I do is and what I've found helps, but bear in mind this is just my own experience. I have the viewer counter turned off. That way I don't gotta worry about it. Touch up some of these areas where there's still white primer visible. Well, I can understand that. That is also part of the reason why, and again, this is just a personal anecdote, so I apologize if this comes off sounding insensitive in any way. But that's why I do mini painting streams, because even then, if nobody shows up and I just talk with myself, and thank you for dropping by, I'm at least still accomplishing a project, you know, if that makes sense. That and it holds me to a schedule for doing it. So if you've got a game like Genshin Impact or any other like gacha game or something with projects and goals to accomplish, then that could help. That way you could be like, okay, I've got to level this character to 80, and then you're streaming it, and you know, even if you don't level that character to 80, you know, maybe you got some people to show up and chat and talk. Or vice versa. I think those are chains. Jeez, my eyes are going. I cannot tell anymore. Well, it's definitely a slow game, but it ramps up. Color to those, they stand out against the folds of the cloth. A little bit more. Ooh, that's the wrong color. Ooh, that's the wrong color. Ooh, abort. That could have been bad. Personally, Forbes, I think it's just a game of averages. Some days are going to be slow, some might not be. But it'll work out. I have faith in you. Yeah, I'm going to take some of this abyssal blue. Well, I don't like saying it because I'm not a super huge fan of trend following personally, but if you're able to, games like Genshin Impact that are free to play, have pretty big audiences because people like watching Genshin Impact, and even as a free to play player, you can still get into like rolling for things like that. So those games can help draw in people. And then once people have found you, they will stick around and keep coming back. You gotta be careful with Genshin Impact, though. That gotcha's a trap. At least it has a pity rating, I guess. Where every 50 rolls or so, or no, not 50 rolls, I'm sorry. It's 90 rolls, you're guaranteed the 5-star character. And every 180 rolls, you're guaranteed the 5-star rate-up character. I got lucky last night and I hit my pity rate, I guess, for the 90 and won the coin flip to get the 5-star character, so I'll take that. Alright, it's like I can see that there's this whole like inner armband part that I couldn't reach. So I'm trying to get to it without painting over anything that I've already painted. Come here. Come here. Okay. Now, what I want to do, because gravestones are good, I'm happy with the gravestones. What I want to do now is I want to try to work on fixing this area, like right here, and a couple other spots on the skin where there's just this very stark divide between the light color and the dark color. And I'll be honest, this is the part of mini painting, blending and wet blending specifically, that I am what the children would call god-awful at. So I'm gonna sketch in a little bit there. This is where I honestly should be two-brush blending. Should be holding it in my teeth like Captain Dallas Kemp. Nope, that's just making it worse. There we go. That looks a little bit better, but we still got some... right there that really needs to be smoothed out. So I am really liking, because I'm thinking of it right now for... I honestly don't know what prompted this. This is one of Clyde's weird tangents. I'm honestly really liking Star Wars The Bad Batch at the moment. I will admit, I am getting kind of tired of the trope of grizzled old soldier becomes overprotective father. Because I feel like Star Wars has done this, like, twice now. And it's starting to get old. So we did it with The Mandalorian, where the Mandalorian Din Djarin becomes the protective dad of Grogu. And now we're doing it with the Bad Batch, where the Bad Batch become the protective dads of Omega. Also, I'm never going to get used to hearing Omega with a Kiwi accent. Omega is a pretty spunky character, though. I'm waiting for the shoe to drop when we find out that she's secretly a Force-sensitive clone. It's coming. I can feel it coming. Let's get some... color on all the parts of his cowl, his cloak, his robes. Uh-oh. Got some watery paint down on them sick abs. Can't have that. No, not much. How's he doing? You're pretty much just about done. Yeah, I can kind of sense that as well. To be fair, it is a big trip. It is a big, expensive trip at that. You will, Forbes. There's room for everyone on Twitch. But yeah, Professor, it's like we're anticipating like a full 7-day. Like 7 days off work is rough. Or 5 days off work if you don't count weekends. Plus travel and everything like that. And then there's the thing that I honestly would be worried about with him would be the potential of Con Crud coming back. Coming back with him, because it's already... Like, I think the world's going to be in a much nicer place in September when the convention is, but even so, with kids coming back with just the flu or something after being around 30,000 or 20,000 people, that could be troublesome. Ah, Professor, you gotta stop that home wrecking. I'm just kidding. Hold on. Son of a biscuit. Like, I can't see these effing chains very well. If that's the case, then I won't tell her, and I won't tell Chance about the last minute change that was the rental car last time. Like, 'cause that was a last minute change. And to be fair, that was my fault. But I've learned my lesson this time. And I'm actually gonna, put the money down for the rental car months in advance, not days in advance. Bertha was a good van, though. She got us places. She got us where we needed to be. Like, any trip of that magnitude is always going to have last minute changes, plans, caveats, etc., etc., etc. There's never going to be a clean 5-day vacation. Oh, Jiminy Christmas, those aren't even chains. Freaking sculpted dark colors. I'm going blind and not wearing my contacts and Wabbit season. Also, I'm not certain how anything can be last minute 118 days out, but I will admit I also don't have a family and don't have that dynamic to think about, so... I can understand Andy's whole crew bailing. Like, they go for a reason. And that reason's no longer there. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what you mentioned yesterday regarding the comped rooms, because now it's like, you know, that's 2 trips. Or that's at least 1 trip that I went on with you where I suddenly realized that I paid for a room that had already been paid off. In which case, you know, what actually did I pay for? Because my thought was that, like, by like comped rooms, it meant that you still had to pay for the room up front, but Gen Con comped later. Ah. Well, that's just overly confusing, isn't it? Like, unnecessarily so. I think if you're a Gen Con volunteer, you only get comped for the room if you have over like 100 play hours. Or something ridiculous like that. Well, we really have until about May 30th for the housing situation to resolve, or for us to figure out what we're doing for it. Or May 29th. Because the housing portal opens tomorrow for me, and then closes on the 30th. Badges, yes. The general housing block opens on the 6th of June. Plebeian portal is 6th of June. Important portal opens tomorrow and closes on the 30th. I have called the JW, and they have told me they have suites available. So I am anticipating a suite to be available in the portal. I called them on Thursday. I suspect... Well, the draw for the suite, of course, is that we would have enough room for everybody, because in theory we would have 2 bedrooms and a living room. And the cost, I suspect, would be around $400 a night, which would be cheaper than if we got 2 rooms at the JW at $255 a night. So really, like, that's where my math comes down, is a single room at the JW that we're planning on is $255 a night. At 5 nights is $1,300, $1,200, $1,250. I can't do math. Excuse me. Yeah, $1,250. Oh, bless you. Dear VTuber sneezes, feature me, please. Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is I don't know what their definition of suite is. Because what I'm thinking when I say the word suite, what I'm thinking in my head is bedroom, connected living room, instead of bedroom, connected living room. So it just depends what they have available. Speaking of Gen Con, I gotta reach out to Jerry and say congratulations, because I saw that Jerry got promoted at Pokemon recently. And by recently, I mean like 3 months ago, because I'm an awful friend and I don't keep up with people. Jerry is now like a big data bigwig. Ooh, that's a little gold where I don't want it. I haven't spoken to them in, God, I want to say almost a year now. Like, I want to ride the fine line of like, hey, I want to talk to you because I think you're a cool person and I still want to be friends. Please don't just think that I'm trying to lean on you for a job with Pokemon. But also, you know, nah, not like that. I don't think I would honestly want a job with Pokemon much anymore. I don't think I can afford to live in Seattle. Or Bellevue. You best be careful, Professor. I can pull these chat logs anytime I need written proof of that. I'm kidding. Also, you're not. Don't sell yourself short. Man, it's weird. There's an upcoming banner in Fate Grand Order, and I just don't care about any of the characters. And I feel bad for that. Like, I get that Arjuna Alter is super good. Fuck Fire Code. Pardon my French. Arjuna Alter's coming out. The Berserker Arjuna. Janako, the Moon Cancer, is coming out. Ashwatthama, the Archer, and Paracelsus, I want to say Paracelsus and William Tell as a 3-star caster and archer, respectively. Also 4 people per room. Come on, when has that ever stopped us? I think we really just need a couple more of the pale violet red. Little edge lines. And so I did shade the bells already, but I probably do need to give them another wash of Seraphim Sepia. That's a bit too thick. This is hitting them with a little wash of Ink Tense Chestnut from scale 75. Oh, you're right. That's a much nicer effect. This is why you're a better painter than I am. Oop, too thick. That is too thick with 2 capital C's. Man, I feel awful. I've been getting the urge to play World of Warcraft again. Derp Thunder Play Stick. I like how their stream notification yesterday when they went live just said dongs. It's like my phone vibrated, I checked it, the notification was like, oh, Miniac is live. I'm like, awesome, and then the message attached to it was just dicks. It's like, oh, guys. They do have a good podcast though when they don't go off on tangents about Raising Cane's, which, like, I get it. I live near 3 Raising Cane's. Raising Cane's is delicious, but boys, I'm here for hobby news, not for chicken tendies. Has Crusher appeared on one of them yet? I know he's barked in the background a couple times, but I feel like at this point he's earned an actual appearance. So I didn't realize that Ninjon did some of the studio painting for Judgment Eternal Champions, their Kickstarter, which unfortunately I had to cancel because it was ending right as Gen Con costs are coming in, so I can't have all of that get dinged simultaneously. But yeah, apparently he did some of the studio painting for it, and then some of the models he studio painted went off to the Play on Tabletop guys, and they did a demo on YouTube about it. And I'm also really happy to see Play on Tabletop getting pre-release demos to do, because they have a fantastic channel and they deserve it. Alright. Ninjon? He primes. I thought you were going to say he was a savage because he uses oil paints sometimes. Like, I feel like that's the larger questionable thing. Clear coating, though, no, nobody clear coats. I don't clear coat. I should clear coat, but I don't. I think he does only because he's lazy and he doesn't want to do it, but it's a necessary first step. Guys, you know the best part about VTubing? Is you don't even know if I'm wearing a shirt or not. I am, but I don't have to be. And that sense of liberation is just beautiful. I think they're both goofs, but I'd still have a beer with them, and I don't even drink. I love Scott's explanation of the time that they met. Yeah, this guy just messaged me on Twitch and my stranger danger sense was going off, but I thought, what the hell. And thus was a friendship born. Hey, Justice, we are actually just about done with the Bell Crow. Now I'm just picking out and cleaning up a couple spots that still have some like white primer on them. Like if you look down like this, like some of the gravestones, I'm just trying to clear up. Justice, you got any plans tomorrow? Oh, hey, Justice. I also need I need your opinion on something. You're versed in this topic. I don't think Professor McAwesome yet has used his ticket for a free 5-star between Vulcan or Indra. Which should he pick? Because my vote for, if you don't have either of them, I think Vulcan's better in the base. This song freaks me out every time because I think it's from Genshin Impact. That is a whole ass little gravestone right there that we missed. God, last week I had to burn so much sanity. I had to burn like 2,800, or else all the potions would have been wasted. I value Justice's Arcanite's opinions because, like, my idea of strategy is swing, 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 and true silver slash my way to victory, but that doesn't always work anymore. I can't just brute force every problem. And I only picked Indra for collector reasons. I still need to work on and do all the new Annihilation stuff. I think that's what I'll do tomorrow after I submit my model to the Reddit mini painting competition. Well, that is 10, and that's split up between 2 rooms of 5. So, well, this can get confusing, but we can make it all work. I think we're gonna have to organize a brunch or something. Basically, yes, a pre-con mixer. Because, like, my work parties who are going are great people. I trust and respect them, platonically love them. But I also don't want anybody to feel, like, super left out, and I really want to avoid with 2 rooms. Like, I don't want to enforce friend mixing, but I also don't want to enforce friend separating. Like, in my ideal world, everybody meets, gets along, and everybody's happy and whatnot. Oh, and, it is not going to be just Aurora as the only girl going along. You know what? With that, he says as he gets a little bit more paint on, just to do a little bit more edge highlighting. Vulcan also just doesn't die. Like, she can't be healed. That's Vulcan's shtick. She's like Mudrock like that. So if you already have Mudrock, then Vulcan is basically just a 5-star Mudrock. But I think Vulcan's base skills actually make her better. Alright, so with that, I'm actually going to say that the Bell Crow is complete. Look at this crow boy. Guess now I have an excuse to actually play the Edge Dawnfall, because now I have a painted mini from it. Oh, thank you, Forbes. So with that done, let's see who we can spread the fun to. Oh god, my knees. My knees aren't supposed to be bending like that. Oh, I know what we're doing. Alright, y'all. So thank you everybody for stopping by the paint stream. I gotta go clean up and then just more clean up in my apartment, and then I'm really tired and I'm going to bed after that. Turning in early tonight. I am so far behind on sleep, it's not even funny. There you go, Forbes. But if y'all are okay, I think I'm gonna drop a raid and we're gonna go say hi to Tama, who is playing A Hat in Time, because I love A Hat in Time. What time tomorrow? It's gonna be like 12:30 or 1 o'clock-ish. Alright, y'all, give a big yeehaw when you jump in. And I will see y'all Tuesday for my next stream.